I spent 18 years hating my mother. Then I opened the letter she never wanted me to read. I almost threw the letter into the fireplace. After everything she'd done, why would I care what she had to say? My mother died when I was 32. For years, I told people I had already forgiven her. That wasn't true. She chose alcohol over birthdays, missed graduations, forgot phone calls. There were nights I waited by the window for hours, convinced she'd finally come home. Sometimes she did. Most times she didn't. By the time I became an adult, I had made up my mind. I knew exactly who she was. Or at least, I thought I did. After the funeral, my aunt handed me a small envelope. "Your mother asked me to give you this after she was gone." I shoved it into a drawer. For almost 6 months, I refused to open it. I didn't want excuses. Then, one rainy Saturday, I found it while cleaning. I don't know why, but this time I opened it. The first sentence stopped me cold. If you're reading this, it means I ran out of time to become the mother you deserved. My hands started shaking. She wrote about things I'd never known. How my father had abandoned us before I could remember. How she secretly worked 2 jobs while battling depression. How she hid her addiction because she was ashamed. How every night she stood outside my bedroom door after I fell asleep, wanting to come in, but believing I'd be better off without her. Near the end of the letter, she wrote something I'll never forget. "I know you've only seen the worst parts of my life. I wish you could have seen the battles I fought when no one was looking." I cried harder than I had at her funeral. Not because the letter erased the pain. It didn't. It also didn't make everything she did acceptable. But it gave me something I had never had before. Perspective. For my entire life, I had looked at my mother through a cracked mirror. I saw pieces of her. Painful pieces. Real pieces. But not the whole person. And then it hit me. How many people had I judged with only part of their story? How many times had I assumed I knew someone's heart because I had witnessed one chapter of their life? Only God sees the whole picture. Only He fully knows every hidden battle, every silent prayer, every unseen wound. We see reflections. He sees reality. Maybe that's why we're called to show grace. Because while we know people in part, God knows them completely. For now, we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. 1 Corinthians 13 verses 12. The story you see may be true, but it may not be the whole story. Subscribe for more true-to-life stories inspired by God's Word.